And joining me right now is former acting attorney general for the Trump administration, Matt Whitaker, joining us live from CPAC. And I know Governor Ron DeSantis will also be in attendance. So I've got to ask you about Florida's governor deciding to suspend the state prosecutor. It appears that the state constitution may back him in this decision. But are we noticing a trend here?
Well, good morning, and I'm glad to be with you. I think the trend is that the American people want law and order, and this prosecutor, again, based on Governor DeSantis' evaluation, wasn't enforcing the law. I have been a prosecutor, a federal prosecutor, as a U.S. attorney for 5.5 years. I understand, how to enforce the law, how to evaluate cases based on the law and the facts. Ultimately, the good news is that the people of Florida will speak on this. And so whether this person has a chance to appeal the removal through the court system, or whether he can, wage a campaign against Governor DeSantis, who's in an election cycle right now. I think, this is the people ultimately are sovereign and they want law and order, and I think that's what Governor DeSantis is trying to do in this case.
Let's talk about the fact that the CPAC's platform includes, and speakers list includes Hungary's prime minister. He spoke very impassioned, making comparisons to the criticism he faces as a conservative to what is presumed to be loudly declared by many on the right, the media bias that we're seeing here, according to many in the GOP. Do you believe that there can be a rational discussion between Americans on both the left and the right in 2022?
I think we need that. It's such a great question. I think there has been a perception on the right that the media is not fair when it comes to the coverage of their positions. They're labeled as radicals, or even worse. They're sometimes called racists and nationalists and sort of white supremacists. It's been pretty awful. I think we need to have more speech, not less speech. We shouldn't, monitor or suppress any speech. I think everyone's voice should be heard. And if you think about how our founding fathers set up our country, it was the marketplace of ideas, that the American people could hear all ideas. We shouldn't be afraid of ideas, and that the better, more rational and smart answers will come to the top, and that's why we elect representatives to represent us. But I think ultimately, there's an increasing number of news outlets, and I think that's a good thing, because then these messages can reach the American people in different and better manners.
Can you give people watching at home an idea of perspective? What is the former president's role at CPAC and within the Republican Party right now?
Well, he's obviously the keynote speaker. He'll headline, the last day. He'll be the last speaker. And, Donald Trump, who I served in his administration, certainly is an influential voice in the Republican Party. He, I think, endorsed on Tuesday night 30-some candidates. All of them won. And so, clearly he has a very loud voice that people listen to. At the same time, there are many people on this stage talking about all sorts of different subjects, including myself, talking about sort of the rule of law and the place of prosecutors. I talked about my visit several weeks ago as part of CPAC Israel. And so I just think, this is a great conference where people come not only to hear speakers and hear ideas, but also there's training involved for activists. And it's a good way nationally for conservatives to get together and, deepen those relationships.
The GOP will likely win back the House, according to historic statistics. What do you think are the top 3 priorities for Republicans? Are they the same in terms of platform, or has there been a great shift?
I think it's very simple. I think it's what the American people are feeling. I think it's inflation and the economy are number one. Those are what, moms and dads in places like my home state of Iowa are feeling. I think it's the law and order agenda, that you heard the president talk about a week ago in Washington, D.C., that is just talking about trying to stop the rising crime rate. And then ultimately, I think the border is going to be a major issue in this midterm.
All right, Matt Whitaker from CPAC for us. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.